Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Matt. I'm the marketing lead here at Managed Protect. And today we're talking to you about the launch of Guardz into New Zealand and Australia. We've got a lot of exciting content to cover with you guys today. But before we do that, I just want to point out a few things. So firstly, I'll be monitoring the Q&A function at the bottom of your screens. If you have any questions throughout the presentation today, please submit them, and myself and Andrew will be going through those at the end. We also have the chat function, as you can see at the bottom there, so feel free to interact on that as well. But without further ado, I will be bringing on our Managing Director, Andrew Johnston, who's going to talk to you guys today about the launch of Guardz and its origin story, and how it can help you guys as MSPs to better protect your SMB clients. Andrew, good morning.
Hey, Matt, thank you very much. Welcome everybody to the Guardz launch webinar, basically where we're going to be talking a lot about Guardz, about our cybersecurity journey. I've got to say, I just got to share one of the things I love about doing these webinars, and we didn't do as many in 2023 as previous years, but I just love looking at as we turn on and go live, just the people lighting up like a Christmas tree and everybody attending. So thank you everybody who's attending today. There will be a recording made available as well, but it definitely makes it very exciting for me. So let's see. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit about cybersecurity for SMBs in 2024. For those of you who have followed the Managed Protect story over the many years, you'll know that basically we are totally passionate about working with small to medium businesses and working with them through MSPs. So we live in the world of MSPs. We live in the world of technology for small to medium businesses. And I think, in the introduction in the email that we sent out, I genuinely said, I'm super excited about what we're doing here with Guardz today. And it's because it's one of the only products I've really actually seen which is totally targeted at MSPs and small to medium businesses in this space. So we're going to talk about cybersecurity, what the state of play is, the Guardz origin story. We're going to talk a little bit about what we heard from you last year, towards the end of last year, because we did a lot with cybersecurity in 2023. But look, I don't think it's any surprise that we didn't probably get as much activity as we would have thought. There's lots of activity happening in the market to do with cybersecurity, but and we had a lot of interest, but we didn't actually see as much going forward. So we've tried to learn from that feedback, and we want to share that with you. We're going to talk about the Managed Protect cybersecurity stack. When we started in 2008, there were 3 products, albeit security products, being email filtering, MP Mail, web filtering, MP Web, and MP Archive being the email archive solution. And that's grown a lot. And with Guardz, it's taken a significant change in the way that we are looking at our stack and how we provide that to our partners. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the tools for growing your business, also for selling Guardz. And I think some of those tools are very much from the view of, Guardz look at it sort of like we do, in that, okay, one of the challenges a lot of these MSPs have is, how do we actually get more customers? How do we grow? And we hear that obviously very often. We're going to talk about our pricing, because we want to share the pricing we're offering you, and as well as a special offer, and Q&A and next steps. Now, I'm going to try to be off-brand for Andrew, and try not to sort of spend the first 20 minutes just telling stories and then wrapping up really quickly through the end of the webinar, because there are some really good, I imagine there's potential for some really good Q&A in this session, and I really do want to put some time aside. So if you do see me going a little bit quicker towards the end, anyway, you'll know why. Okay, so Managed Protect is a network partner of the ACSC, which basically means that we attend their fortnightly meetings and have a feed from them and access to their data, which is shared to do with cyber threats and cybersecurity issues throughout basically a network of other cybersecurity companies across Australia. These statistics here I can share fairly publicly. They're available publicly, and they come from both small to medium business reports and also some of the more broader reports they did last year. And basically, yeah, this stuff for you guys isn't going to come as a surprise. There's more cybercrime reported in Australia. Average cost of cybercrime, and that's 46,000 for a small to medium business. A small to medium business is considered less than 20 people. So actually, that number has been going up, and it is 46,000 for a lot of your customers. It is substantial. Top 3 cyber crimes reported for business are email compromise, ransomware, business email compromise, which are going into the mailbox and people sending you messages that look like they're from your fellow employees, and online banking fraud. So they're the 3 vectors across the board that were the most active in business. 80% believe that cybersecurity of small to medium business believe that cybersecurity is important to very important, which means that we have a lot of businesses out there in Australia who do want to talk about cybersecurity, and this comes back to some of the feedback we got from some of you, half of those respondents spend less than $500 a year on cybersecurity. So we obviously have a challenge with, yes, we think it's really important, but how much can we invest? How much are we willing to spend on this? And I think that is shifting. Business owners, not a surprise, they underestimate the time and the cost of recovery from a cyber incident, which is part of the journey we need to take them on, because I think a lot of what we need to do as an industry is really illustrate to them that this is exactly what a cyber attack looks like for a business like you. And we're going to be doing a lot of work with case studies, local case studies this year, with our friends at Guardz, and also with other vendors we work with in this space. So on a global level, over 50% cyber attacks are done on SMBs. 70 to 83% of SMBs aren't prepared. 95% of breaches are the result of human error, and globally, and on average, a hacker attacks 26,000 times a day. And 60% of small businesses, and this is a stat at the bottom there, which I think many of you have heard, but one of the challenges of small to medium businesses, often if they do get hacked, basically, and they do have a significant outage or a significant impact on their reputation or their data, they may just not survive. Okay, a little bit about Guardz. So throughout last year, we basically went fairly heavily into the cybersecurity space for SMBs with our channel, with our partners. We launched MP Audit, we launched MP Secure. We had a lot of interest on both of these products, but a lot of the feedback that we got was that, yes, we agree we need a holistic solution, but it needs to be easily accessible. It needs to be priced in a way where we can deliver it to our partners, to our customers, sorry, in a way that they can either afford, or that we can build it into our stack in a way that's cost effective. So we knew that we didn't quite have the right solutions in place. We had a lot of interest on MP Audit, we have a lot of interest on MP Secure, and funnily enough, one of the trends we've found is that many of the partners we onboarded onto these products at the start of last year are only really bringing their customers on now. And that's either because they're new customers who are coming on and they can basically offer them a cybersecurity stack, or secondly, they've been breached. And one of the ACSC stats was that once an organization has been breached, they are surprisingly a lot more likely to want to talk about cybersecurity and invest money into cybersecurity. So we could see towards the end of last year that our product stack wasn't getting what we needed to do. It wasn't able to cover the partners, the customers that we wanted to get coverage with. We wanted to get out there and protect Australian and New Zealand small to medium businesses through our MSPs. So we sought a solution, a holistic solution. I think importantly, a baseline solution. Historically, a lot of our products have been best of breed, with Avanan, with MP Aware, with MP Null. These are best of breed in SaaS products. We were looking for a solution that would provide a level of coverage for small to medium businesses, frankly, that is good enough, that provides them that coverage at a level so that they can have that increase in hygiene, they can have a better cybersecurity experience, but not cost the earth. So we found a company which was all of 12 months old when we found them, in basically based out of the US, but a lot of the technology is out of Tel Aviv. And the company is called Guardz. And after doing a fairly in-depth technical review of their product, and I will show the portal today in the live demo, because one of the things I love about the portal is every time I click in, there's exciting things going on. But after we evaluated it, we talked with them, we tried to get an understanding of what their goals and what they want to achieve. I went and met with Dor, who's the CEO of Guardz, and also Amit, who's head of global sales. And we met in Singapore, which was a testament to those guys, because also, I'm happy to jump on a plane and fly to Singapore, but Amit flew in from Amsterdam, Dor flew in from Tel Aviv. They could see that there was a lot of similarity in what we're trying to do with protecting small to medium businesses. And I think when we did meet, though, we agreed that there was very much an alignment of that passion of wanting to actually do that. Dor shared the story about Guardz, and essentially, the founders came from a background in cybersecurity. Dor was at Rapid7, along at VMware. And when Dor was at Rapid7, working with their enterprise-based cybersecurity, they started seeing very much the startups of attack as a service or ransomware as a service. And this is going back a couple of years now, but he could see that this ransomware as a service, that was the target of that product, because it's basically a commoditizing attack, right? The target of that product was going to be small to medium businesses. And he started really turning his mind to, okay, what can we do for small to medium businesses in a way that we can protect them? He realized at that time that small to medium businesses were protected by managed service providers. Those are the guys who own the keys to the security, own the keys to the environment. So basically, Guardz from day one was really built from a model of how do we make this work really, really well for managed service providers? How do we fit into their world? And how do we deliver it so it protects the small to medium businesses holistically? To work out, I suppose, what the risks were, what Guardz did is they took a step back and said, well, we need to understand what the risks are for small to medium business, because it's different to enterprise, it's different to government. It's not Optus or Medibank, it's a different type of risk profile. So they went to and formed an alliance with one of the insurance underwriters or carriers in the US, and basically said, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to protect these businesses. And at the same time, the insurance companies, they were getting a bit challenged because they were trying to work out, how do we measure risk for these businesses? And there's been a lot of change with cyber insurance in Australia and globally over the last couple of years. So the insurance carrier allowed them access, anonymized access, or what was it, DPIO? Anyway, so they could have a look at the causes of these cyber attacks for small to medium businesses. So, yep, that's right. So cyber insurance accessible for SMBs. That was one of the other goals that both the insurance carriers and, of course, Guardz share. So what did they find? Basically, for small to medium businesses, they found that phishing attacks were very common and very much an issue. And this lines up with what the ACSC is finding in the current market as well. User data and security, malware attacks, ransomware, insider threats, leaked credentials. And that's really the 6 core vectors that they could see, that people were, basically attackers were getting control of small to medium businesses. So once they knew what the attacks were, they then set about designing Guardz. So they said, well, okay, we know that attacks come through phishing. So we need to do 2 things. We need to protect the email with email protection, And we need to also empower the people with phishing simulations and security awareness training. So I think, one of the key things about Guardz to realize is it is about being a platform. It's not about an individual product. And the beauty of a platform is it all comes to one place to manage. So email protection, cloud apps, business email compromise, those sorts of risks, MFA. They realized that they needed to cover cloud directory posture, external footprint, which is very much, okay, what's actually physically visible from a vulnerability scan externally? What is your attack surface that's visible to the outside world? And the external footprint basically looks at things like DKIM, SPF, DNS records, WordPress versions, anything where a hacker would actually sort of hook in and sort of go, okay, I can get into these users. I can get into this website. I can get into there and launch an incremental attack into the business. Dark web, a lot of people have credentials that they don't change. There's still a lot of people out there who don't have MFA. And endpoint security, which is basically your endpoint, your EDR type model. And also we have secure browsing. That's the other side of things. So there's a lot to Guardz, and I'm definitely not going to dive into all the detail on the portal because we just don't have time. I will be recommending to you that you book a one-on-one training. If you want to go deep dive technical with our guys, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, you can, if you want to get an idea of how it's going to work from a business perspective, that's obviously where Rob, John, myself really come into it, and very happy to discuss that with you as well. So that's a snapshot of what Guardz is. Let's talk a little bit about what we heard in 2023, and hopefully this will make sense as to these are the reasons why we've gone down the path we have as well. So we spoke to a lot of our partners. They said, well, our customers are talking about cybersecurity, but we don't necessarily have the skills or experience. We're a one-man show. We're a 3-4 people business. We're busy. We're busy just being an MSP. We're worried that whether we can deliver a cybersecurity experience that our partners need, that our customers need. So we're not sure how to best deliver it. The other thing which we heard from a lot of our partners, usually fairly quietly, was our customers already think we're doing all this, which it's very easy to do. I've been there, when you're talking to a customer and they're not hugely technically literate, which most business owners aren't, and they say, will you do this? And you end up just saying, we will take care of it all. Just per person, per month, per server per month, we'll take care of all of your IT needs. And of course, they then make the assumption that's cybersecurity as well. And with annual contracts, with long-term agreements, it starts to get a bit difficult to then go back to them and say, this thing that you think we're already doing, we're kind of not, we need to charge you more too. So we understand that's a challenge. We also hear from a lot of our partners that they need to grow, they need to find new customers. One of the things, particularly from our support team, the first feedback that we got from Guardz internally from our techs was very much, does this mean that we don't have to sit there and go in and out of portals all day? And I know for a lot of our partners, they're in a similar situation where they feel like they have multiple bespoke point solutions that have very much come from enterprise, and they've tried to knit them together into a cybersecurity solution, but they end up having to go and check multiple portals every day to make sure they don't miss anything, and then try to manage things in one portal and then another. It becomes difficult. The whole idea of an MSP is you're trying to automate, you're trying to get economies of scale, but then at the same time, frankly, if you keep on adding more and more solutions, that kind of erodes your profitability, makes it kind of really hard to manage. And also from a training and education perspective, how do you train all your team? And cybersecurity is specialized. It's one of the other things we hear is that it's difficult as a business owner, as a lead technical person. I might understand how to do an audit. I might understand how to talk to our customers about cybersecurity, but how do I get my entire team across that? So from a Guardz perspective, and one thing I really, really, really want to stress this, with our product set, we deliver some products that things like data workplace. There are certain customers who need data workplace, and when we onboarded partners, they picked those customers and said, you need data workplace, and they rolled it out to them. With products like MP Mail, which was stopping spam and viruses, one of the greatest benefits we brought to our partners was that they could just put in one platform, and that would provide all the mail filtering for all of their customers. And it also meant that their service desk, their engineers only need to know one product to manage all of that. I genuinely believe in 2024 that every one of your customers needs a level of cybersecurity. I believe every one of them needs monitoring, protection, and training. So Guardz provides the cybersecurity solutions for those who don't have the internal cybersecurity resources, too busy to train, certify themselves, but they do want to protect their customers. They don't want to be blindsided, and they want to be able to sleep better at night. We heard it's hard to sell cybersecurity when your customers already think we do this. We get that. It is about understanding the risks and sharing that with your customers, articulating the baseline. This is where we're at currently, and discussing really where, as a combined, you want to get to. Now, putting it bluntly, Guardz is priced at a level which should give you a bit more flexibility with that as well. But also from our perspective, obviously, we want you to roll this out to all of your customers. We don't want you to just roll it out to one person who's complaining about cyber, or someone else who's sort of going, oh, we've heard about Medibank, we need something here, otherwise we're in trouble. We believe that this is a baseline solution. So Guardz provides visibility of issues. It's one of the nice things about Guardz is basically you can do an initial audit. It generates a list of issues. You can print them out. There's nice glossy reports that can be branded as you. So there's also return on investment reports, which you'll see in a moment. But the whole idea of this reporting is that it provides you a really good basis to be able to sit with your customer and go, okay, this is where you're at. And the reason you're here is because of these things. And then in a month's time, agree, okay, this is where we were at, this is where we are at now. I need to grow and find new customers. As I said, Guardz spend a lot of time working on how do we make this easier for partners, for MSPs. And part of their model, they only sell through MSPs. So whenever they get a lead for any small to medium business or business owner, that comes back through us to work with partners. And we are later this year launching a full Guardz certification program, a technical certification and sales certification, because we want to be able to create this environment where both the cyber insurance industry and also leads that come in generally for Australia and New Zealand go back to our partners who know how to actually deliver these solutions. The Growth Hub, which is accessible from the portal as a partner, it has a number of resources which are editable, presentable, but also the ability to do the prospecting reports, which are fully branded. Very, very useful. I want to stop going in and out of portals, worried about missing something. These are the things we hear. As I said, from a fundamentally, well, actually, there's two things here. The single pane of glass, try not to overuse that phrase, but the concept of single pane of glass does mean that Guardz is a great aggregator. It brings the beauty of having all of these products under one platform is all the issues come to one place. One of the things that really got me about Guardz though, and you'll see when I go into the live demo, is that when you actually pick an issue, there's a button there. It's not like a lot of products out there which just list your issues and say, here are the things you need to fix, and tells you what the information about them. There's actually a remediate button. And if it's possible to automatically remediate it, you can automatically remediate it. It will use PowerShell scripts to push into M365 or G Suite. It will go into other services and make the changes if it can. If it can't, there's a remediate manual button, and it comes up with a knowledge base. And then even if you're stuck there, and this is great for your support team, don't forget too, there's a button which is like in case emergency break glass, and it's a chat button, and that goes directly to our team here in Sydney. And you can talk to one of our engineers, and they will actually work through and say, okay, what's the issue? How can we help you? And they will go through and assist you with the remediation. Okay, now I'm not going to go too deeply into that because, as expected, I have heavily talked a lot, but I do want to show you the portal very quickly. Okay, so here's what I prepared earlier. It's a multi-tenant portal. So you've basically got a concept of all customers. They automatically populate with a demo customer, which is very, very handy. So you can basically show people portal without having to show your own dirty laundry necessarily. So once I'm in the portal, I'm on the issues page now, which conveniently lists all the issues for your entire customer base, which you can then sort by status or severity or type. You have various different, an email view, a quarantine view, because keep in mind, this is like, it's a spam filtering. The spams that have been stopped or viruses that have been stopped either through the endpoint or through the cloud or through some other issue, basically they will all appear here. End customers it does have a hierarchy, so admins can log in and manage it themselves for a customer. And also the end user can actually log in and they can manage things like their allow list, deny lists, and whether to release an item out of quarantine. So you do have that sort of functionality there. If I go to home, I love this page. So this is your summary page. It basically tells you critical issues, and that's once again, so this is for this customer. I can go globally. So critical issues 5, 4, high, 23 medium. Business score, cybersecurity score. Guardz continue to work with the insurance industry, and the reason I mention that is there's an ongoing feed of what are the current issues that are the claims are coming through on. The other side of that is globally, Guardz have arrangements with insurance carriers whereby, that's better. What you can do is basically once your business gets over a threshold of 80, and every item that you fix on the issues list, your score gets higher and higher and higher. But then once you get over 80, you can request a quote for cyber insurance. Guardz sends the information with your permission and asks you a few questions as well. It basically sends that via API to the insurer, and a quote comes back to you for cyber insurance. The quote is based on the fact that you have fixed all of your issues. So the whole concept is that insurance should be cheaper for customers and also for the insurer, there's less risk. So that's where we're trying to head with it. In Australia, we've started negotiations, discussions with a number of insurance carriers, and we're anticipating having a cyber insurance solution in place this quarter. So that'll be a little bit of case of watch this space, but we've worked out the mechanics, we've worked out the API, we're just really finalizing exactly how that works. Ultimately, it should be, your Guardz score is 90, you pay this much. Your Guardz score is 95, you pay less. I don't think we're going to have that from day one because the insurers want data, and that's going to take a bit of time. But once we actually have that product for release, you will hear from us, and that's definitely a direction we're heading with Guardz. If we go to the controls, and this is really each of the items. Actually, I'll go back here. You can see on here, you have a coverage, and this is called the compass, or I don't know, the radar, or depending on which person to speak to. But basically, if there are dots, if there are segments that haven't been completed, that means that hasn't been rolled out for the customer. If there are dots in the segment, that means that there are issues. So if I click on that there, it automatically gives me an issue, filter view, SPF missing for domain. I click on that. It tells us domain is missing SPF record. It was on the 29th of Jan, it was last checked, the domain details. And then I click on, okay, we probably should fix that. We probably should fix that. Don't have an automated remediation, but if I click on SPF records guidelines and continue, it then basically has instructions. Once it's processed, and you've actually done, you click on processed. If you don't click on processed, it will pick it up itself, but the external scans happen, I think, about once a week. So it may take a little time before it actually disappears. And of course, if you need help, you can click on the help button and talk to our guys. Okay, so as I said, I'm not going to dive too much into this, but I will say the cloud directory posture, that's actually quite, this is set to Google Workspace. You've got active users, approved locations. So it ties into a lot of things which you see, locations of people signing in from, MFA, whether it's been deployed correctly. What else? Basically things to do with set up with inactive users. So it creates these issues and all of it comes back into your issue space here, where you can then manage them. So the idea is really, you go in here, you work through, you clean it up, and you can also configure it to notify you via email of any of the issues. There is integration to ConnectWise and Autotask. And I said I wouldn't go through all of it, but some of this stuff's really good. It tells you, who are your highest risk users and why. And you can basically go to the issues page and view all that data. I'll touch very quickly on prospecting reports, because this is where you can actually create reports which are very nicely branded. And you can sit down with your customer and say, this is an external scan. This is what we've seen. And this is the growth hub that we talked about. Okay. Stop share. Go back to the. Okay. So that gives you a really quick snapshot of Guardz. Hopefully it gives you an idea of where it fits in into an MSP, into an MSP stack. I think it's important we talk a little bit about where it fits into Manage Protect. Because as many of you know, some of you have MP Mail, MPAV, MP Aware, MP Secure. Where does Guardz fit in? And I think, in 2023, we were very much about, these are best of breed security SaaS, and it's our platform, and we're about making cloud and cybersecurity easy for our partners. In 2024, we see the same, we're working with that technology. That technology hasn't changed, or actually continuously changing, but it's getting better. Where we see Guardz fitting in is really, we realized that we were missing a baseline product, a product that would be like the essentials, a product that just did the stuff that you could easily roll out to all of your customers, say, you know what, let's put Guardz on. This is what you need as a starting point. And if you had a customer which said, oh, look, I want to do a lot more with our security awareness training. I want live videos. I want something that's really engaging. Well, certainly we upgrade to MP Aware. MP Aware is the best of breed technology for security awareness training and phishing simulations. If you need more of an Essential 8 flavor, a CIS flavor to your audit technology, then that's where MP Audit is, and MP Secure. If you're looking for something that is specifically a best of breed anti-phishing solution, that's where Avanan really sits into our place too. So we see it as an opportunity, frankly, to take the Guardz platform, roll that out, to upgrade to individual products, but also, commercially, it means that you can downgrade as well. As in, there may be certain customers who you know, they don't really need MP aware. Maybe the security awareness training within Guardz and getting all the other functionality is a reason to just go with Guardz instead and save a few dollars. And that may also make the whole purchase equation better. We've seen initially talking to some of our closer partners, the first thing they've done is they said, well, look, we've been thinking about going Defender. We're going to drop random antivirus product. And because Microsoft Defender is really good enough. But how does Guardz work with Defender? Well, Guardz actually provides a full management layer of Microsoft Defender. So you can actually have the free version of Defender out on the machines, and Guardz will manage it. It will update it. It will make sure that any of the issues all come back to the central portal. So there's definitely ways where we've seen some of our partners look and go, okay, well, we're gonna reimagine our stack, and you know, maybe we can save a few dollars here, save a few dollars there, and the overall solution makes sense. Part of what makes it make sense is basically the cost. We're looking for a solution that would be accessible, that would work for partners, that they could basically get something in that was a base level for all their customers. And basically, we've come in at a product that's under $8 per user per month, depending on your bronze, silver, gold. That's based on we've got a priceless slide coming up. That is based on a commitment of 100 seats, which you can basically, as long as you ramp up within the first 3 months, you can maintain that price point, and also you'll get an internal use license for your own use in that. The Guardz proposition is really, you know, it's this on the left. It's all this stuff, which I'm sure there's going to be questions about. But importantly, this is the actual ROI document. And one of the things I love about the ROI is it actually has like a progress for that customer. So you can see in January, February, we fixed the MFA. There's lead credentials here. We fixed those. Awareness campaign sent. So the customers can actually see that, okay, you're working with us. You've made these fixes. The potential loss is based on real world insurance data, claim data. And it gives you highlights of, you know, these are things we'll fix, these are the issues that we need to fix. There's a lot on the roadmap. We're doing a lot with Guardz this year. We're going to be doing some roadshows, some events where we will be doing an SMB IT Pro, Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide run. I think in March. We're going to have some of our own roadshows coming up. There's going to be some training webinars. As I said, the cyber insurance is a big piece which we're working on right now. So we're going to be very excited to get that out to partners. And before you ask, there will be a model of some sort of a spotter's fee. So it'll be a once-off fee back to the MSP for that. We've got certification programs coming through, which we're excited about. And there's some really, really good technology updates that are happening in Guardz, which work towards reducing the amount of work you have to do and a lot of automation and workflows. I don't want to go too much into that just yet, but there's a lot coming in that space. So we talked about, you know, how do we sell it? From our point of view, the prospecting report, and you know, that's what it looks like. This one on SMB IT Pro that we ran. You just basically run the report. It goes out, works out what the industry is, how many users, and provides a lot of details. We're very happy to run those reports for any of you who want to just have a look at that. But as well as the summary report, it provides a detailed CSV with every one of the issues, which is great to actually then sit down with the customer, send them the main report, and then go, okay, do you want to sit down and go through the actual issues? Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but it's a good opportunity to actually breach the topic and discuss it. Growth Hub, leads from business clients and leads from insurance. We talked about that. Our initial discussion with partners has shown that some of them are integrating into the stack and just saying, okay, this is version 2 of our MSP stack. Others are doing a bit of rip and replace. They're taking out some of the existing mail filtering or security awareness training, and that way they're making it a little bit more palatable so they can just go in there and virtually roll it out to all their customers and say to them, okay, this is our cybersecurity solution. It can be fully white labeled as well. The prospecting tools for your customers and new customers is great. And, of course, the other thing is run an event, run a webinar, run a pizza and drinks night. We're happy to come along. We're happy to provide resources. We're happy to help you with those sorts of things. So the pricing and special offer. The starter pack is just no commitment. If you just want to put a user onto Guardz without any 100 seats or 3 months or anything like that, basically bronze, silver, gold, 12, 10, $9. These are still Australian dollars. For those from New Zealand, speak to Blue Chip in New Zealand. They have all the pricing there. For Pro, which is what we see most people doing, basically, because most of you have more than 100 seats, bronze $760, silver $730, gold $7. So we worked really hard to try to keep that price down. There is Guardz pricing available on the internet. What you're seeing here is less because we basically wanted to do the right thing for our partners here. We wanted to get it into your hands, and we want to make it work. And you want to work with us too, hopefully. Okay, the launch offer. So 14-day free trial. You can go onto the trial, start using it straight away and before talking with anybody. For those of you who just want to get in and play, free IUL for up to 10 users. That's on the basis you're signing up customers. You got to sign up to customer, and then you can get your 10 users. But we're offering a $1,000 service credit for referring a new partner that's not currently with Managed Protect. So if you have somebody that you know who's not a Managed Protect partner and you think Guardz is good for them, if they sign up, they start putting customers on, then you get a $1,000 credit on your account, on your Managed Protect account. Okay, so next steps. So the call to action. Basically, there's a landing page. So you can talk to your partner account manager, which I always highly recommend because that's what those guys are there for. And they've been chomping at the bit to talk about Guardz. So I think they'll get very excited if you call them. You can sign up for training directly. Our team are ready to go through and do a one-on-one and go through, okay, how would Guardz work in your environment? How would it work technically and the integrations and all those sorts of things. Or you can sign up directly to the trial. And so we've got the trial URL there, and we've got the training QR code there. Of course, you can contact us if you need any of that information. I've thrown this slide onto the Q&A because it was, I just wanted to share. This is one of the things that sort of, I suppose, did inspire me a little bit with the team. This is about after we met in Singapore and we started working together to get this product right for Australia. I think on the second or third meeting, and the meeting was about 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning over there in Tel Aviv. And this is Dor, the CEO, and Asaf, one of the key guys that I've been working with to bring all this together. And I sort of said to Asaf, because usually he's at his desk or at home, and I said, "Where are you?" And he said, "Oh, basically, with the fighting and everything that's broken out, all the people have had to get involved in the military, and all the farms around Tel Aviv, a lot of them, basically, the fruit is going rotten because there's nobody there to pick it. So basically, Guardz, as I don't know whether you call it a social event or basically a team event, the whole Guardz team were actually there picking all the fruit for these farmers so that they could basically get it to the people. And that's the sort of thing it's inspirational. Like we all need to, well, you all need to eat. That sort of works in farming too. But we all need to deliver technology. We need to deliver products to our customers that help them with their business. But I genuinely believe that these guys, their alignment is, where we want to be. We really do want to protect these small and medium businesses. So on that note, and as the rain starts in Sydney, I will move to Q&A, and it looks like we have you in there.
We do indeed. We've had plenty of questions coming in. So to kick things off, Andrew, first question, could Guardz email replace MP Mail and Avanan, or would you still run Avanan?
It's a really good question. And, you know, okay, being brutal, when we looked at Guardz, you know, one of the things that we thought is, okay, it's going to cannibalize our own products. You know, that's not good. But ultimately, I think if there's a platform that appears that is a better solution for customers, then I would prefer to cannibalize our own products rather than have somebody else come in and do it. That kind of makes sense. What we found as we evaluated Guardz, and because we with a couple of our first partners, we said, look, you know, tell us what you think. You know, you've got Avanan, you've got MP Mail, and we looked at the email filtering and the phishing technology, anti-phishing technology, and look, it's good, but yeah, the MP Mail product has been going for over about 15 years, isn't the technology base there? There's a lot in it. There's a lot of technology, a lot of features, things like the compliance rules, some of the sophisticated routing, the depth of heuristics and things in the way that it handles mail. It's definitely got some strengths, particularly in the way that it interacts with users, the branded spam quarantine reports and all those sorts of things. Guardz hasn't got that level of sophistication. Guardz have an advantage in that when they started building the product, AI was here. And this is one of the things that, you know, talking to Dor and Alon, you know, they've gone, we were lucky. We said we need to build this technology, and then AI was literally sitting at our doorstep. So they have heavily used AI to get to market a lot quicker. So their phishing simulation uses AI to generate the messages. A lot of the email filtering technology uses AI in a similar way that Avanan does. But look, I would say that they're definitely less mature as a product in both of those spaces than MP Mail or Avanan is today. So I would, to answer your question, like I says Brett there, I would say that have a look at the needs of your customer. See if it makes sense for your customer. There's no reason that you can't run both at the same time, or you can maybe try it and, you know, maybe it is okay. Maybe it is enough for some of your customers. Maybe it's not enough for others. So that's been our experience. We'll continue to share that, but they're both very much moving targets as well.
Oh, very good. Sticking with kind of the theme of products, question from Bill here in terms of MP Archive and hopefully soon Dropsuite will be important to us. Can Guardz coexist with the archive solution?
Yes. So the way that Guardz works with the mail filtering, it sits in the tenancy. So it sits has a Microsoft Graph interconnection into the API. So it's like Avanan or many of the other products like that. And with MP Mail, the mail will get filtered on the outside because it's a seg. So the MX records go to MP Mail, filters it, delivers it to the mailbox. Guardz, like Avanan, would look at the mail and go, yep, you're okay or not. All the outbound email gets sent out through MP Mail. So in a standard archive solution, MP Mail is compatible. In a anti-phishing solution, yes, Avanan and Guardz will work together.
Okay, cool, perfect. I really like this question from Wayne in terms of asking if there is any mapping or alignment with CIS and NIST or the Essential 8 frameworks with Guardz and within the dashboard. Because although that doesn't exist at the moment, there is alignment between the product and obviously matching kind of the cybersecurity frameworks in Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. Frameworks, it's a very good question. I can talk probably more authoritatively about probably Essential 8 and SIS, not so much with this, but anyway, largely because our MP audit technology and MP secure technology is all Essential 8 based and SIS based. I think, you know, when we started talking with Guardz, they were very excited about Essential 8 and they see that a part of their roadmap will be to, in the same way they make cybersecurity compliance easier, because part of the idea with Guardz is that as an MSP, you don't have to sit there and fill out these huge forms from Chubb or Emergence and all these guys, and with all this information, and then be worried about, oh, did I tick that right? Is that going to come back and bite me? It's all pre-completed with basically what you already have in place with Guardz, which makes it a lot easier from the starting point. That technology, they are also looking at how that could work for compliance to frameworks and standards. Technically, if you look at, and I do I have a slide? I think I have a slide. Whoops. Oh yeah, there you go. This is it's a draft slide. It's not one that I was actually going to use in this presentation, but it gives you an idea of, from an Essential 8 and a Guardz perspective, there's a lot of overlap. Guardz have come purely from a perspective of these are the areas where small to medium businesses have been attacked. So that's what we'll protect, which is very much a fact-based approach for small to medium business, which I really like. Essential 8 is broader and wider. And if you look at Essential 8 compliance across Australia, large enterprise, they go through maturity level 1, 2, 3. But a lot of small to medium businesses, like they'll pick MFA auth, they'll do that. They'll do the regular backups maybe as an MSP. But once it gets into things like user application hardening, some of the privilege escalations, things like that, it gets a bit harder. And I think Guardz have taken a very pragmatic approach to cybersecurity. And I think as they start to dovetail into compliance reporting into Essential 8, that will also make that a lot easier for a lot of our partners. I hope I answered that okay, Wayne, but you can always grow me down the Dove and Olive for a further discussion.
Yeah, I think Mark actually asked a very similar question as well, so hopefully that helps with both of those there. Let me just try and find another one. So another question, in terms of the pricing, is that excluding or including GST?
We will always quote excluding GST. So okay, yes, cool. we don't get to keep that money.
That makes sense. And then in terms of the cyber insurance, so one question said, I have clients in the US, will access to cyber insurance be part of this for me, for them? I think it can be cyber insure clients that are based sort of in the States or globally. Yes.
The short answer is yes. It's what I've got to work through. So currently, when you sign up into the Australian instance, all the infrastructure is in Australia too, by the way. That's one thing I didn't put on the slide or forgot to mention. So when we first started working with them, we said infrastructure needs to be local, data sovereignty, all that sort of thing. So everyone that's provisioned on the Australian instance won't have a direct access into the US cyber, but I think we just need to work out how that, we need to work out how that's going to look for partners. I suppose the worst case would be we could provision an MSP account for the US, an MSP account in Australia, although I'd like to think we'd probably have a bit more of an elegant solution for that. But in the short term, that can be done, and the answer is yes.
And then another question that's just come in. So in terms of the security score on the Guardz dashboard, is there a way to tell Guardz we're using email protection as a service from another provider, so e.g. like MP Mail, for example, or will this impact the security score if using another solution?
Good question. So when you're talking email security, obviously Guardz, it looks at SPF, looks at DKIM, it looks at the external configuration of your email security. So the points associated with that. There is whether you have email security deployed and turned on. And the short answer is yes. You can, with any of the Guardz issues, you can choose to ignore the issue. And you can ignore it for a short period of time, like ignore it 15 minutes, ignore it for a day, ignore it for a month, or ignore it indefinitely. When you ignore it indefinitely, depending on the issue, you can then put comments down on why you're ignoring it. You know, we have MP mail here, so we don't need to worry about this. And that way it will restore the score that you should have if having that covered. So yes, there's not an issue with that. Guardz also works with Defender, as I mentioned, and it has a lot of configuration with Defender. Actually, I've got a very poor slide on that. That's the Defender, managed Defender configuration, which you can set up within Guardz. But I was going to say it also works with any other endpoint antivirus you may have. So if you have WebRoot or Sophos or something like that, it will actually take in anything that Microsoft 365 can see on it, that the actual endpoint reports back to Microsoft 365. Guardz has access to that, so it will actually still roll up into your issues as well. So even if you have other AVs, that will tick the box as far as points and scores.
Okay, perfect. And one of the sort of few questions we have remaining, so from Reg, can you trigger manual scans for issues on the home page, or is this predominantly automated?
We have a document which in our knowledge base which goes through the cadence of various scans, like things like checking the mailbox happens every few seconds, through to external scans of websites and DNS, which I think happen once a week. I'm trying to think whether you can or you can't. I do like to have a question that stumps me on these webinars. So Reg, I genuinely appreciate that. I know, but I will answer one thing. You can, the external scan is the same as the prospect scan. So the prospect scan does an external scan and does a dark web report as well. So if you ran an external scan in real time, that would give you the results and whether everything's been fixed. I will see if you can, so that would actually trigger a fix, but I will find out whether there's a simpler way that you can actually push that scan to occur, and whether we can do it from our support and ops team as well. So thank you.
Okay, and I think that's all the questions we have, unless anyone would like to submit any others. I think we're close to time there. So I think we might be time.
We have one last one there. I just saw one pop up. Anonymous attendee is the Guardz cyber. Yep.
So
sorry, Matt.
The Guardz Cyber Insurance offering a direct marketing offering to clients. So how does this help the client having no advisor in the middle?
Yep. No, and it's a good question, and you know, cyber insurance for consumers is fairly commoditized. Like, you know, you just go online, you get your house insurance or your car insurance. Business to business is different. We acknowledge that, and there is a lot to business cyber insurance for both MSPs and for different industries, and a lot of that requires a local domain knowledge. The way that our cyber insurance offering is going to be working in Australia is through brokers, or is through basically cyber insurance specialists. So the way that it will operate is that it will provide the information to a specialist. There will be a default solution provided, but then there's going to be a lot of times where it is going to need somebody, an advisor in the middle, and there will be access to advisors who can then actually discuss, okay, this is the offering, this may not be perfect for you. And in these cases, one of the things that's important about cyber insurance in Australia, which is different to other countries, it is really, really important that managed service provider, you know, and managed protect, we're not insurance people. This is not the industry that we know everything about. It's not our domain expertise. So we are relying on insurance cyber insurance specialists to actually have those discussions directly with the end customer in that situation. And if the end customer has their own broker, well, then they also can have access to the information from Guardz to actually assess that and then put together their own solution. Ultimately, we're trying to make it as frictionless as possible, as easy for the MSP as possible, but also to get the best result for the customer.
Perfect. Cool. I think that is time, unfortunately. But thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure. Oh, actually, feel free to invite. Another message from Wayne. Thank you, Wayne. Yeah.
Wayne just mentioned, who's the CEO of SMB IT Pro. As we are doing a run in March between Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane, Adelaide, Perth, he has sent out an invitation and said anybody who's on this webinar or people they wish to invite are welcome to attend as guests to the SMB IT Pro meetings this month, which is really great because it's a good event. They're a lot of fun, and we will probably be going a lot deeper into some of the technology because those guys ask some of the hard questions, which is a lot of fun. So if you are around and you're available for those meetings, come along. I'll be at every one of the events, and Rob and John are going to be in their various locations as well. Very happy to put out an offer that whoever attends from the webinar, I will happily buy the first round.
I'll probably have to hold you to that as well, Andrew. But yeah, thank you everyone. Appreciate your time. Anyways, I think we'll take it from there. Take care, everyone.
Thank you very much. Take care. See you guys.